Welcome to the adventures. So the last couple weeks we've been talking about groceries and you guys have really weighed in and we really appreciate that. And so today we want to talk about like our scheduling, how we time management, and we're really going to focus on eating and our eating schedule because for us, it's important to eat together and try to make a home life in trucking kind of combined together, and that's what our channel's about. So
groceries and eating. I'm all about groceries and eating.
Me too. Willie Jean did want to say hi, and she wants to weigh in on her hair. I did her hair really nice today, and it was up in a ponytail, and she thought her styling was better, ripping out the ponytail.
I think it looks better too. She looked like alfalfa the other way.
She's a little hot mess. But anyways, guys, so yeah, our entire channel, if you guys are new, make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, subscribe to the channel, that we can get all the notifications, because on each of the different platforms we put out a large amount of content really, and it just varies on the content on the platform. So like Instagram, Facebook, you're always seeing our stories, and you might have been able to catch up on our schedule a little bit more if you're following us about kind of when we eat, how we eat, me cooking while he's driving down the road, all that kind of crazy stuff.
Dangerous stuff, yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't distract you from driving,
No,
but
not at all.
I mean, maybe from the smell, especially when it's like bacon and stuff.
That's distracting.
Yeah, but so how does our day work? First, as team drivers, we do a split, and it's from 3 a.m. to 3 p.m. So I drive anytime between 3 a.m. 3 p.m. typically, and he does vice versa. Now, right now we're on a very, very dedicated route, and we don't technically need all 24 hours of the day to be driving. Our truck is typically stopped from 10:30 at night until 3 a.m. So that definitely has changed the schedule a little bit. So some days he actually starts driving sooner than 3 o'clock, but that's only because we're on a dedicated route, and our route is very routine and regular, and so that's the only reason that we compromise that rule. What we do is, so I take off and he's still sleeping, and he wakes up anywhere from...
Yes, she hooks the trailers all by herself. She doesn't wake me up.
No, yeah, I mean, I love you, but I did the job before I met you.
Yeah.
So I'll keep doing the job. But it also helps him have a better sleep routine, so he can get the proper amount of sleep. Because you really can't go back to sleep if you're waking up your partner and he's having to get out of the truck, see all that light, stimulate his mind.
I'm normally a pretty sound sleeper, but as soon as the truck starts to move for whatever reason, I wake up.
Starts to wake him up. And
she's the exact opposite. If the truck's sitting still, she doesn't sleep very well. If the truck's moving, she sleeps really good. So
I'm weird. You guys know that.
No.
So he kind of wakes up naturally. He doesn't ever set an alarm. He just stays in bed until he feels ready to finally get up. And normally that's anywhere from like 7:15 to 9 o'clock. Typically that usually times us out. So we have found 2 truck stops or a rest area that we stop at every single time. We've created a really smooth routine and rhythm, and it also creates our time, but we always did this time regardless. We always typically have ate between 10 and 11 a.m. Sometimes we eat a little earlier. If he wakes up early, we might eat at 9 a.m. or 9:30. But give or take, typically around 10 o'clock is the ideal time to start cooking our first meal. And then again, I start cooking around 4:30. And so how we plan that out, we eat 2 large meals. We don't eat breakfast because for me, I'm already halfway through my day. I've already been up since 2:30 and I'm past breakfast. So no, I don't eat breakfast. I don't get a snack. I make a cup of coffee and drink water. So I continue to do intermittent fasting until he wakes up.
I interrupt my intermittent fasting with an evening snack after she goes to bed.
He likes his snacks still. But we typically only try to eat 2 really large meals. So we might eat, I don't know, shepherd's pie or a meatloaf at 10 o'clock in the morning. So the idea of breakfast is to break your fast. Don't think that you have to eat what America considers breakfast food in the morning time. You totally don't have to do it. Be rule breakers. Do what serves your body best and well. And
you can eat bacon any time of the day. It doesn't matter what time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And for snacks if you want.
Yeah.
So then after we eat the first meal, like I said, then around 4:30, then I start making the second meal. And so how I kind of time it out, and we really don't spend a lot of time stopped. Sometimes we are only stopped for Scott's half-hour break. And so how we make it so we keep it that short is the meal is almost all the way cooked. So how do I figure out when the meal is going to be cooked versus the rest area we're stopping at? Well, when it gets to be around 3:30, 4 o'clock, he starts saying, oh, there's this rest area that's in 40 miles, or there's this one in an hour and a half. How long is it going to take you to cook? Which one do you want to stop at? Then we pick.
Mm-hmm.
And so depending on that, then I back it up. So if it's like 40 miles and I know I only need 20 miles, about 25 minutes out from the rest area, I'll start cooking food. That way I can set up the couch, I can get the skillet out, I can move the table around. I do all of that stuff, and then I start cooking. So when we stop, we get there, he takes the little one out to go to the bathroom, they get back in, the meal is plated and the skillet's washed out, and then we eat.
And I better not be late for dinner.
That's very true. Yeah.
She doesn't like me to eat a cold dinner.
If I take the
If she's
time
gonna
to
take
make
the time, yeah, she's gonna take the time to make it. I better make the time to be at the table on time.
I'm sure all you ladies understand.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of how we plan out our meal planning. I know many of you have had lots of questions. We see a common question: what do you do for snack foods while driving? Do you keep stuff near the driver's seat? Some of you keep coolers, and that might work well for you, but trust us in the long haul. Like, yeah, we have said this has been a snack cabinet, or there's snacks up there right now. That's his chips. Like he says, he likes some chips in the evening time. But we really keep it to a minimum. And you guys, we've been driving now for a while. Almost 16 years for me.
Too long.
And 30 years for him.
I don't even know.
And overall, considering, we really haven't gained a significant amount of weight since we've been driving. Some, but considering how many miles we drive, which is about 5,000 miles a week, how little exercise we get, and how much sitting we do, we have really not gained a ton of weight. And so there is science, there's studies behind what we're doing. You guys don't need a ton of calories if you're not going to be able to burn them. Yes, it takes calories to make your brain function well. So you want to make sure you're getting some good protein, some good fat, to make it so that your mind is sharp, so you can be the best driver that you can. Don't feed yourself up on caffeine and sugar, because your mind is not able to be sharp. And being a truck driver, if you want to keep your career, if you want to stay safe out on the road, you need to make sure your mind is sharp. So we eat farm fresh food, we eat from scratch. We really try really hard to make home into the truck. And so we eat both meals together, because it's important for husband and wives to be able to sit down at the table and communicate together, talk about the day, what's going on, and
Mom
just
always
live
told
life
me if you
together.
talk at the table while you're eating, you'll be crying later.
Only if your mouth's full, right? But guys, hopefully this gives you some insight. Hopefully you find this encouraging. Oh no, your seat's sinking. So our seat, because I have to sit so low, our seat is not liking it, and we have a tiny air leak and we can't find it.
Mm-hmm. Somewhere along where the hose has gotten pinched, and I put, cut the hose and put the.
Must not have been the right one.
Yeah. There must be another little leak somewhere.
The last time it was really easy to find. If you guys have a tip or a trick that can help us find it easier,
spray it with dishwater. Try to find a bubble, but I have not found anything yet.
It's so tiny that I don't know what's going on. But anyways, guys, we hope that was helpful. Do you guys have a routine or rhythm that really, especially husband and wife team drivers, like, what are you guys doing to make sure that you're putting your marriage number one, eating well, and bringing home time into the truck and kind of working that schedule? What do you guys do? I know many of you eat separate, but I'm just curious. Hopefully you guys weigh in and found this useful. All right, guys.
Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification if you don't get the notifications. I've heard that YouTube is changing their algorithms a little bit, so if you don't hit the notification button, then you won't get notified. You won't see it.
That is very true. But all right, guys, you stay safe and enjoy the adventures.
Bye.